It's Wednesday, July 11. There are just 483 days left until the 2008 presidential election.
It's noon at the McCain headquarters, 9 a.m. in California.
I'm Rob.
I'm Will.
This is Political Lunch.
Welcome back to Political Lunch. In Monday's episode, we focused on stories from the GOP, so today we had planned to look at the Democrats.
But they'll have to wait until Friday because in the last 48 hours, this happened.
The bad news keeps coming for Senator John McCain of Arizona.
A major implosion in the presidential campaign of John McCain.
Senator John McCain's bid for the White House took another body blow today, as we said. Not only is his campaign short of money, this morning he lost his two top senior advisors.
That's right. After months of problems with the Straight Talk Express, there is now officially no one at the wheel. In case you're not clear on this one, ABC's Rick Klein dispensed of the subtlety.
On Tuesday morning, it was reported that two of the McCain campaign's top staffers had tendered their resignations. Terry Nelson, who was the campaign manager and also a top advisor for Bush Cheney 04, was now out the door.
As was John Weaver, the senator's chief strategist and also an ardent early supporter of a McCain 08 bid. But the campaign evisceration didn't stop there. It was also announced yesterday that Mark Salter, one of the senator's top aides and also the co-author of several books with McCain, was off the payroll but would still serve as an unpaid advisor.
Also on their way out yesterday were political director Rob Jesmer and deputy campaign manager Reed Galen. So in one day, the McCain campaign lost its manager, its deputy manager, chief strategist, chief counselor, and political director.
In other words, there ain't much left. Rick Davis, who had been the McCain campaign's CEO, has been promoted to campaign manager, allegedly after months of vying for greater influence.
Now, Davis isn't really anybody's best friend in the campaign, and many have speculated that his promotion contributed to the flurry of defections. This all went down as McCain took to the floor of the Senate yesterday to reiterate his support for the Bush policy in Iraq.
Yeah, we cared about American casualties after Vietnam, and we withdrew, and the North Vietnamese attacked, and millions of people got on boats, thousands were killed in re-education camps, and thousands were executed.
McCain had spent the 4th of July in Baghdad. Before he left, he reportedly ordered his campaign staff to find ways to cut spending, since after a dismal second-quarter fundraising effort, they were left with less money in the bank than even Ron Paul.
Now, the most obvious place to trim the budget is with payroll, and according to recent FEC filings, the McCain campaign had a relatively bloated list of salaries and related expenses. For example, Mike Dennehy, who had served as the campaign's political director until resigning back in May, had been costing the campaign a cool $250,000 a year.
At the start of July, the campaign had just $2 million in the bank, and with payroll obligations of $1.6 million, well, times were tight.
This all begs the question, can a guy who can't hold his campaign together be trusted with the White House?
So how did we get to this point? Back in December, things looked pretty darn good for the senator from Arizona.
In fact, he was polling at about 30%. And that's basically where the frontrunners are today. And his announcement on Letterman seemed more like a coronation.
Can we try that again? Da 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 da. Okay, okay.
But from there, things started to unravel pretty quickly. This poorly executed photo op in Baghdad was meant to demonstrate the success of the Bush administration's policy in Iraq, but instead it drove away independents who just couldn't stomach the senator's support of the Bush policy.
And while he lost moderates on Iraq, it was his approach to immigration reform that drove away conservative stalwarts. And then there were the many campaign indiscretions that displayed a somewhat unpalatable loose cannon tendency.
Bomber ran. My response is lighten up and get a life.
What do you want to start with, the Bomberan song or the walk through the market in Baghdad? What do you want to start with?
I had something really picked out for you too. It's a
Did you really?
Yeah, it's a nice little IED to put onto your desk.
Coupled with what some said were weak performances in the debates.
That will get the support of enough people, 12 million people washing around America illegally, my friends. And I hope you'll examine the legislation, and I hope we can move forward with it, and we can make it better.
and an apparent inability to either raise more money or reduce spending. These are things that sink even the most resilient campaigns.
But the candidate vows that he will continue to soldier on in the face of adversity. Yesterday, he sent one of the more eloquent campaign emails to his supporters, vowing that he's in it for the long haul and urging them not to lose faith.
And just as the Obama campaign, for instance, has generated its diehard supporters,
I got a crush on Obama.
Somewhere in America, Senator John McCain still has his diehard supporters.
I can't wait till 2008. If I live that long, boy, would that be great? That bill you wrote with fine gold, hey, I liked. Then again, I liked Ike. We got a lot of things the same. I walk with a cane, you got cane in your name.
That's it for Political Lunch today. We'll be back on Friday to play 10 and 3 with the Democrats.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Like the corners of my mind, misty watercolor memories.